Welcome to the Nola podcast. Raw, honest, relatable experiences that help us grow. Are you subscribed? If not, what are you waiting for? Go! And please, leave a review and help us grow while you're at it. Thank you.
On today's episode, writer, actress, creative director, and entertainment company owner ROXY is in the building. The SOA Q&A, and of course, today's happy habit. ROXY.
Hello.
What's up?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Finally got you here. I've been stalking you for a while to get
Oh,
you
no.
on here. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm like,
Okay.
I have to get her on here.
And I'm here.
And it's finally happening.
Yes.
Gratitude. Thank you so much for being here. So I have a story for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going to tell you this story, and I want your opinion on the story. All right?
Okay.
So, y'all ready? So my man and I went out, and we were at this beautiful music event.
Okay.
There was a beautiful woman performing, and before she performed her song, she told a story. You know how it goes.
Right.
She told a story about some things that happened in her family, and I thought it was so beautiful. It was heartfelt, and when she performed the song, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting there tearing up, emotional, right?
I'm feeling it with you.
Right. It was so beautiful. Mm-hmm. So I was like, when she's done, I have to go give her her flowers. I have to tell her how this impacted me, because I feel like as an artist, you probably want to know, right? So at some point during the end of the performance, I started looking at my phone, doing something.
Right.
And I didn't realize that my man had gotten up and he had went to talk to her. Okay. That's how he is. He likes to play the room, right?
Right.
So he had gotten up, went to talk to her. And when I looked up and saw them talking, I was like, oh, this is my opportunity to go say something really quickly and then kind of pull myself out and let them continue the conversation. Because you know how it is when somebody does something great and everybody wants to talk to them, and you're standing there kind of like playing double dutch.
Ready to get turned.
Right? So I'm like, this is my chance to go in, say something really quickly. Just tell her it was dope. I felt it. Thank you for that. So I walked up, and of course she has no idea that I'm with him, right?
Correct.
And I start to tell her, you know, the song was beautiful. I really enjoyed it. And at some point in there, I don't know if it was body language with him and I, or if we said something, but it became apparent that we were together. And her reaction is where the story gets interesting. She immediately steps back and starts to apologize. Immediately. She's like, oh, wait, are you... I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. She kept saying that. I'm like, wait, hold on. What happened? Why? What's happening? I'm like, no, it's cool. And I'm telling her, I'm like, him and I, we are not, I don't know what she's thinking, but I'm like, we're not that. We're perfectly comfortable with having the other one speak to the opposite sex.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to read you her DM, because we ended up exchanging Instagram. Okay. So her DM said, well, I reached out to her first saying it was nice meeting you. The song was amazing. And she said, I giggled about our convo on my drive home. Haha, y'all are such a vibe. And I appreciate you. The convo actually helped me view my relationship a little differently. So initially, I wasn't thinking this person is insecure. But as time went on, because I thought that whole situation was peculiar. Right. It stood out in my mind. Right. What's your opinion on it? What do you think? Do you think there's insecurity in there?
Yes, definitely, because it was a reflection of her relationship, and she noticed it afterwards for sure. And I feel like I've experienced that multiple times, countless times, let's just say, being in the entertainment industry, you're always speaking to same sex, opposite sex, and anything can look flirty. But when you have a partner that's understanding, this is the norm. You're like, oh, hey, meet this person. And you're smiling, and reactions like that exactly, where they're like, oh, I'm sorry. So maybe there's another part to it. She could have been looking and in her mind thinking that she's about to start flirting as well.
I said that.
Possibly. No, possibly.
Yeah, I said
possibly.
that too, yeah.
So she's like, oh my gosh, I was going to start flirting with her man, and this could have been a whole scene. Or it's both. I feel like it could be both, actually. A reflection of her relationship, and she doesn't feel secure, so she might as well step out, and and her man could have been cheating on her, and they probably have that.
I didn't think about that.
I mean, I don't want to project that and
I mean,
start a whole
we don't
rumor
know
about
what
the
happened.
girl's life. But,
we don't know what happened. We're not saying, hey, this is fact. But,
but
you know,
I see that as a possibility because when you're secure, those things, you don't even see it. So when someone says it, it's funny to you. Like, you're just like, oh, no, we're good.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
Right.
You said you've experienced that a lot.
Yes.
I've never experienced it in that form. I've definitely experienced who are you? You know, like the more abrasive.
That, of course.
But for the person to physically step back, and she was like super apologetic, I was like, girl, I kind of felt bad for her for a second there. I'm like, damn, I feel sorry. But we ended up, I was like, she suggested, she was like, you know what, I think this conversation could turn into something amazing.
Right.
I want to be on the podcast.
Right.
It ended up not happening, but ended up not happening.
Good story.
But at the same time, you know, you mentioned entertainment. I know you see insecurity all the time, because I feel like in an industry where image is such a big deal, it has to be there all day long.
In all forms. I feel like the most interesting is when someone is known and they're not recognized. So you see this famous person acting like a child because they want to be recognized. And I'm like, wow, this exists? But, you know, you see people on TV and you think everyone is
confident.
high and... Right, but there's insecurity across the board. And to me, that's very interesting because, you know, I feel like some insecurities are obvious, like you said, the couple, right?
Yeah.
The woman, actually, another thing that could have happened, I'm sorry, we're going backwards.
No.
She could have been approached multiple times of, oh, that's my man. So she didn't want to, she said that? You see? So that was trauma for her. And she's just like, oh, listen, don't fight me.
But the funny thing about it is my approach wasn't even on no funny vibe, nothing. It was really friendly. I was complimenting her.
It's the industry.
And I'm telling her she's beautiful and everything. I'm like, even though you're beautiful, I'm cool with him talking to you. There are beautiful people in the world. He's going to talk to people. But what is your definition of insecurity?
Insecurity, I would break down the word. Not feeling safe within yourself. That's it.
I think that safety thing is paramount because it ends up showing up in so many different ways. Like, I don't want you talking to anybody. And insecurity is not just about relationships, guys. You know, it could be you not having things. It could be financial. It could be food. It could be a bunch of different ways. But what is like interesting for me to see when you mentioned, you know, entertainment, you see, I went to an event. I attended an event a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago.
Okay.
And it was, I don't want to say the event, but a lot of industry people were there. And I hadn't been out in a while. And the person that I was with, she said, it's so interesting to watch everybody want to be seen. And when you talked just now, it took me right back to that moment. I was like, oh, okay, this is the same thing. Everybody wants to be seen. And then when you don't see them, what do you think they're feeling?
It's a zoo. It's chaos. It's chaos. When you're observant, I feel like certain people feel it. Not everyone feels it though. So it's a situation where I look at it as in, what is my purpose here? So I'm not too thrilled about industry events. I do it sometimes because I have to. And I say that just for the publicity purpose of my client. However, I was actually speaking about this last night, LA, the culture of LA versus New York versus Atlanta. You go
Energy.
yes, the energy, right? We said sometimes you're speaking to people in LA and they're just saying their resume to you. And I'm just, hi, I'm Roxy. Before you even get to the name, they're like, I'm an A&R at Sony. Okay, hi. What's your name?
What's your favorite color?
You know what I mean? Like, hi, what brought you here today? Who are you with?
Yeah.
So it's like those kind of conversations are out the window. It's just me, just very showy. But Atlanta, I would say I vibe with the Atlanta people, man.
I just came back from Atlanta.
They're very calm and just, everybody just come on board.
Yeah.
And New York is a little bit of both.
It's a part of that southern type of hospitality type of vibe. But yeah, New York has everybody.
Yes.
Any
it's
type
a mixture.
of person you can think of is in New York.
Yes.
Nice, mean, everything. So what's your relationship with insecurity?
My relationship with insecurity, I feel like I try to be aware of it in the moment. And when I feel it's awareness. So if I'm aware of it, then we're going up from here. If I'm not aware, then I'm sure my ego is bringing me down. So I just try to be aware at all times. Even if I feel like my ego is getting in the way, I'll think about it and say, why do I feel this way? Why does this bother me? Why does this hurt me? And most of the time, it comes from within. The answer is here every time.
So you're always regulating in real time?
I wouldn't say always. I say most times I try to.
And I think
I'm an overthinker.
Really?
I am an overthinker.
What does that look like? Overthinking?
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Well, I do management, so I feel like by nature, and I'm a coach, like I feel like the path of my life just requires serving other people or making sure things are going the right way or optimizing a situation or a person.
So are you overthinking as in I'm always thinking ahead, or is it I'm always thinking about stuff that I don't need to be thinking about?
Oh no, not unnecessary things. It has to be in the moment or future-wise for progression, of course. But
so do you think that's overthinking, or do you think that's like do you think that's a powerful thing that you do to strategize? I think it's so important to think ahead. You know what I mean? And anticipate things that could possibly happen. So is that what you're doing?
So let's get back to insecurity, right? I believe it's overthinking, maybe because of the thought process, my thought process. It's hard to explain to you in this moment.
Trust me, I understand.
But for me, I'm thinking I may be overthinking, but to you, you're like, that's just enough. But that's my insecurity. It's the perfectionist side of me. It's the imposter syndrome that everything has to be a certain way, and you hold yourself back sometimes because you don't think the results are going to come out the way you want it to. So those are my insecurities.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I kind of feel like we all go through that. And I'm mentioning that because insecurity is something that we use to shame other people. Oh, she insecure, so that means what? You're gonna throw me off the planet? Like, you know,
we are insecure. Everyone.
We are all insecure about something on some level, and that's why I wanted to have this conversation. I did not want to have this conversation and to shame people and say, oh, people be insecure. That's not it. And me telling the story about the woman at the event wasn't to highlight her insecurity. It was just, I thought that experience was interesting. I was like, wow, I thought about it for a while. And I am an observer, so I know that you are too.
Yes.
And I remember the first time meeting you at your event, there was just so much going on in the room.
I was just thinking that.
There was so much going on in the room.
Right.
And when I look at you, you were very still. And I'm like, okay, this person is in charge. Because I'm that person. I'm not going to get drunk. I'm not going to get wasted and crazy and not understand what's going on. I am highly aware, and I know that you're observing too.
Right.
So,
And that's the moment I feel like we locked in, and you're just like, you're so calm.
yeah.
Why are you so calm? I said, oh, I anticipate the craziness, so it's not as crazy in my mind if I know some things are gonna get a little wild.
So how do you think we established that we're all insecure?
Correct.
How do you think that affects how we engage each other?
Me personally, or just general?
People in general.
People in general.
Yeah.
Projections are so real. Projections are so real. And let's use the entertainment industry, for instance, right? You said everyone goes in a room and they want to be seen. Who painted the picture of what an artist should look like? Right? It's what we see as media. The car, the jewelry, the girls, right? But it started somewhere and it just trickles down and everyone's watching what they're supposed to look like. So if you don't add up to what you're supposed to look like, now I'm going to get a fake one. I'm going to steal from someone to acquire this. No, seriously, you're doing all these things because you're not content with yourself. If that's not you, that's not you. But I feel like when someone puts on that mask, it's depressing. So it just comes back around where you're just like, you don't even know yourself. So now you don't get the latest of this or the latest of that. You feel like I failed, because insecurity is about how you feel about someone else, not yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you were secure, you wouldn't care.
Right.
So it's all external forces. If you're good inside, then, that's why I say I try to stay in the moment and ask myself, why do I feel like this? And then I'll just let it slide. And some people feel like, oh, you're so dismissive. And I'm like, no, if I can't control this right now, what am I going to do? I'm going to sit here and stress.
I can relate to that.
There's too much stress. I have
People
stress that I know.
Like that.
Right. So I feel like projections, I personally try not to, because of how I see other people do it. And I don't like how it feels. I'm very principled. Back in the, you don't do things to people that you don't want done to you.
Yeah.
Karma's real. And I feel like that's my happiness, just trying to give out the goodness and get it back. That's it.
So how do you tackle, before I even ask you that question, I just remembered something. There are so many like reality TV people being incarcerated for fraud. And I feel like that is connected to exactly what you're talking about, having to keep up. And I mean, I don't know people's personal, stories, but from the outside, I'm like, it's, staying up to date with whatever's trending, or putting on a show in these rented homes and these cars that are not yours,
Right.
So that's another thing. People are essentially giving up their lives. And if you go way down to the core of it, it's insecurity, right? So insecurity can get sticky and wild, but how do you tackle it in your personal relationships? If you are, interacting with someone on a personal level, whether it's romantic, family, friend, and there's some type of insecurity happening that's impacting the quality of your relationship, how do you tackle that? Do you say, why are you so insecure? I know you don't do that, or I think you don't.
I have said that. I feel
like we all have said
that. In the moment, if you're angry and your guard is down and you see it, you're not thinking, hey, let me hold your hand. You're hurting me. Let me hold your hand. You're pushing them away like, what's wrong with you? And in that moment, that's the wrong way, obviously. But I feel like peace begets peace. So I just always try to bring it back down. just bring it back down. And like I said, it's awareness. I feel like when I'm not aware of my motive, that's when things are chaotic. So just being as aware of myself as much as possible, that's the only thing I can do to control it. That's it. And technically speaking, I feel like I think that's where vices come in, where people do things to escape reality in their moment, right? And when you're in events, people are smoking, drinking, all different kinds of things, right? So it's like a game again. Back to the industry. This it's just a whole big cloud, right? But when you step outside of that, you have to deal with yourself. So that's where addicts come in. People just continue doing the same thing over and over.
Wow.
So security, I feel like you just have to. It's just grounding yourself and knowing who you are. And like we said before, someone can call me. Someone can say whatever they want to say, right? Because I'm insecure, now I'm projecting back. I want to curse you back out. If I'm secure, there's no reason for me to curse you back out because it's lies. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your breath. You're wasting your energy. So that's why I say I go back to keeping the balance because I'm too dismissive. I'm too dismissive sometimes, and I have to address head-on confrontation where others, they're ready, and I'm just like, well, when you calm down, we can speak.
No, period.
And no, but some people may object and say, right, I need to speak like this. I don't have to speak when you're like this.
Yeah.
I want to speak when we're calm and we can hear each other because now it's wasting time. And now if I'm not at my strength moment mentally, it's like, I don't know how this conversation is going to go down. And now that will be a poor reflection of me. Your feelings will be hurt.
And now we have to fix something.
And now we have to fix more.
Yeah.
So let's wait until we're good and then discuss what we have to discuss.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of once that energy starts to escalate and the word starts getting crazy, I'm that person who's like, all right, I need a second. Because if there's a line right here and I see that line, and if I cross that line,
right,
now I'm the monster. So
that's my life. Seriously,
really?
Seriously, that's like, and then that's what you don't want.
Yeah,
and it has happened. It doesn't happen often, but it happens, and it's like, see, now I have to build myself back up to say, who are you? What was that? But you saw it ahead of time, and you tried to control it. But again, imperfection.
What you made me do.
And those are toxic words because you should have control over yourself. No one can make you do anything. It's your choice.
Absolutely.
All the time. So it's just, if I make the wrong decision in that moment, I'm mad at myself, like, oh man. But I can't say to that person, you made me like this.
Yeah.
I made me like this, and I'm mad that I allowed it to happen.
I think we underestimate choices. I don't think we have a grasp on what a choice really looks like every single moment. Right now, I'm choosing to keep my elbow in the, you know what I'm saying? Every moment, it's a choice. So what advice would you give somebody who's experiencing insecurity, but there are different types, you know, so let's pick a type.
You pick one.
Let's pick a type.
You pick one.
Well, let's say romantic relationship.
Okay.
You know, you are going out and you
don't want romantic advice from me.
You look too good. Where are you going?
Oh no.
I'm upset. Where are you going? You look good. Where are you going?
So that's someone saying this to me? I wouldn't.
This is someone saying this to their person. What would you tell that person? That's clearly there's some type of insecurity there. And you know what? Let me inject this really quickly about insecurity. Insecurity isn't always, for the people who are like, oh, she's insecure, he's insecure. It's not always something that comes 100% from within that person. Sometimes people do things that make you insecure.
To provoke,
Like, you always coming home at 5 o'clock when the club ends at 11. You know what I'm saying? The sun is coming up, you're coming home, and you're not making me feel secure in this situation. I don't think there is any amount of sturdiness in a person that will keep them from saying, this makes me insecure. And I think that's okay, guys. It's fine.
Absolutely.
So what advice would you give somebody in a romantic relationship who has no reason to, you know, feel insecure based on what that other person is doing?
I feel, so the partner is insecure. So they're experiencing an insecure partner?
This person is insecure, but the other person isn't doing anything to provoke that.
Okay, so they're just insecure without
this is coming from within. This is the one that's coming from within.
So the person that's insecure, my advice to the person that's insecure. Okay. I would want them to pour into themselves more. Be aware of their strengths, their beauty, because something is lacking.
Yeah.
Because if you always feel like like you said, reassurance, right? So you said the person is not necessarily provoking, but it's something within that person. It could be their upbringing that they were told every day they were ugly. So maybe positive affirmations, looking in the mirror in the morning, and just saying, "I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a great day." Something I say to someone specifically every day. I said, "What are you gonna do today? What are you going to do to make yourself happy today?" And he always gives me random answers, and I'm just looking like, let's see what he's going to say today. But that's just something that I say to him, but I'm saying it to myself too. Right. So that ended up being a routine for me. But I think things like that are important to build yourself up every day, because this world is cold. Everyone, especially in New York, we live in New York. Hey,
it's wild out there.
It's cold. It's real cold out here. So you have to feed yourself positivity. That's what you do have control over.
I like that advice, because we've established that people can lose their freedom over insecurity. You can drop the bag on a relationship, lose a really good person because you have inner work to do. I've been insecure, but I came from a place where I was ashamed of it and also shaming other people. But once, like I said, I observe. Once I study people and observe, I'm like, it's all of us.
Right.
It's everybody. And there's no way I am going to shame you about something that I'm going through too. Right. So the moment I figure out we're all on the same page, I'm like, there's nothing to be ashamed about. We're all insecure, guys. We're all insecure. It's safe. It's okay. We're all insecure.
I would like to say this. So as we spoke before about being in the industry and your partner's talking to someone and right? There was a time that I experienced it, right? And I did feel a way in the moment. I'm like looking up like,
that body language.
No, it's true, but it was real. So the body language, and again, people are under the influence. They're under the influence. So it may not be your partner, it could be the other person, but from a distance or it's too long or something like that, you're like, hold on a second. And you're like, all right, well, it's about to end soon. Oh, well, all right. But the time is going. 10 minutes.
This conversation long. This conversation too long.
15 minutes. Wait a minute now. But now your partner comes to you and says, I just booked the biggest deal with us, and start telling you all this exciting news. And now you feel like, oh, shoot. So I'm over here stressed, but the conversation was so engaging that it was not, the chemistry between them was so natural. Yeah. But like, it's a moment, like you can be in the moment of, I saw his leg cross too, but he didn't notice, or maybe someone touched the shoulder, but background culture, especially Caribbean men.
Girl. Side eye.
Listen, Caribbean woman, myself too included.
Guess what?
I feel like it's a language.
Let me add a little bit of let me add a layer to that. Sometimes it is flirting.
And then that?
Sometimes it is flirting, but there are times, guys, I'm not condoning this. I'm not saying go do this, right? I'm not saying go do this. But there are times when the flirting is what seals the deal.
You're getting somewhere.
This is very common in entertainment.
I'm acting. Stop.
This is very common.
No, you're right.
You touch somebody's shoulder and they're like, okay, yeah, we could bump it up to 3,000. You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
Guys, again, I'm not condoning it, but
you're right.
You see the body language from a distance, and sometimes it is that, but that extra leg cross is what got it.
Right, and that's the relationship you have with your partner, and I feel like that's the best relationship. When you speak the same language and you can look from a distance and say, all right, we're about to get this money.
Yeah, you know
that's another level now.
I saw you flirting, but when you guys go out to dinner, I'm coming, okay?
No, but this is a real conversation. Okay? Where are we going?
Yeah,
where are we going?
Yeah, you're not meeting at the hotel rooftop without me, baby. Are you serious?
Fun stuff.
I'll be there with you. So let's talk about your entertainment company.
Yes. What would you like to
Introduce the
talk
world to your
about?
company
Oh,
and tell them.
tell them what?
I'm scared. Is there a sector of your company that we can't talk about?
Oh no.
It's just straightforward entertainment, right?
Right. I'll censor things if we need to.
Play.Wit.Rox.
Play.Wit.Rox.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Well, we could break it down.
Okay. 'Cause there seems to be wordplay here.
A lot of
Okay,
wordplay.
I can tell.
Everything, most times, at least double entendre, the least. And sometimes I battle with myself, like, how many different things can I get out of this? Like, just for fun.
Yeah.
So Play.Wit.Rox, I feel like the brand started from my childhood because I played every weekend with my mom. And it's just interesting how things kind of flow because as an adult, I'm like, look at this, I'm still playing. This is
Still
my
having
actual
fun.
life. And I love it.
Yeah.
So Play.Wit.Rox is an invitation to do what you love. Play.Wit.Rox is collaboration. Play.Wit.Rox is...
I thought you were saying, come play with me.
I mean, yeah, that too.
Okay. When I read it, I was like, is she saying come play with her? Okay.
Yeah, you know, so like I said, the breakdown of the word play is action, media, wit, mental sharpness, inventiveness.
I noticed that.
Wit.
Had a feeling.
Yeah.
I figured that
comedy.
out. Okay.
I love comedy.
Yeah.
It started with
I can tell you laugh a lot.
I joke around
Yeah.
a lot. Oh.
Yeah.
And Rox, it was before the brand was down to earth rock stars. Like I had all these different ideas.
Evolved.
It definitely evolved.
Yeah.
So Rox, to just cut it short, my name, yes, Roxanne is my middle name, and Rox, like I love rock. I do like rock as well. I like the rock fashion. I like chains, and you'll see like I'll have a bow tie and I'll have chain and spikes around my neck, and people are like, "This is weird." I'm like, "It's me."
No, it's cute. It's cute. I like it.
But yeah, it's a lot going on.
All right. So how can people find you if they want to play with rocks?
On Instagram. On Instagram. I like word of mouth. When I said that, I heard it a different way. But anyway.
Me too.
Right? You heard it, right? I feel like it's
just like... We had a conversation last night, and you said something, and then I responded, and I'm like, that was so inappropriate. The way I responded was so inappropriate. But then your reaction, I'm like, oh my gosh, she gets it. Cool.
No, this is how I speak all the time.
I'm like, all right, cool.
All the time.
And it just happened again, and I'm like, I'm not going to say anything about that. But then you said it.
I heard it. It just echoed. It was like, mouth.
Guys.
Keep this in. Don't edit.
All right, so Instagram, don't flood your DMs with madness. Because I feel like that's what you were saying.
No, website. I was going to mention that. It's a lot of, it's like I felt it's a spiritual thing for me. And I just want to reverse real fast because the access became a really big thing for me. And when you think about it, they're going to know where you are all the time.
Yes.
So that's a little scary to me.
You have a little bit of control over that. You don't have to say, I'm right here, right now, except for when you have an event and you tell people, hey, I'm going to be here on Friday, such and such time. That's the only thing.
I will share something with you. Someone stalked me before.
So when I mentioned it earlier, oh my gosh.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I had no idea.
It's okay. It's okay.
But I was kidding, by the way.
No, of course, of course. But that's how the universe works because insecurity, going back to it, it was a quick flinch. Yeah. So I'm like, ooh, the healing is happening.
A little bit of a trigger,
The healing is happening. It wasn't like it was more
maybe
like.
She was behind it.
No, it was smooth. So I'm like, I came a long way. But yeah, when there's a lot, people are weird sometimes. Yeah. And just the access of someone knowing where you are all the time is like a little like, security on deck.
So everything is good now?
Everything is great. Okay. Everything is great. But when you said that, I said, you know what? I'll share that because that's a side that people joke around about, but it's real. You really feel like that made me insecure.
No, I've been stalked.
Yeah.
And it's definitely impacted the way I interact with men to this day, even though it was 10 plus years ago.
Right.
Yeah, it happened.
So when tying it into security, it's like, oh, should I do this? You double think, and then
absolutely all the time. And if we look directly at the word insecure, you don't feel secure in a situation, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Right.
We're dropping the shame on everything. If you went through something and as a result your psyche is set up a certain way, that's how humans work.
Right.
Period. That's that.
Right.
So anything else about insecurity before we jump into the next segment?
Let me drag this. Let's see what is the next segment? Anything about insecurity? I would just encourage everyone to be themselves. Just be you. Be free. Don't just unapologetic.
Don't come outside naked, guys. You're going to get arrested. For the people
don't come outside naked.
Yeah, for the people who are like, I'm gonna be myself. I want to not wear clothes.
No.
Be yourself, but chill.
Yeah, that's it.
Chill. Don't stalk
That's
people.
it. Don't stalk people, please. Don't stalk, please. Everybody, just if someone says no, no means no. I do not want to be contacted. Just unless it's that diehard love. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
All right, we're jumping into the next segment. So this segment is the SOA Q&A, where our producer, Adrenaline, asks us questions that we have to answer. So how it works is he will ask a question, you repeat the question, and then answer.
Okay.
Simple enough, right? What day in my life would I like to relive? Why are you laughing? What popped into your head? There's so many. I'm thinking about, the day I gave birth. I'm thinking about the day I first came to this country. The day that I left Guyana was so interesting. Like being in a foreign country and watching the United States on TV and wanting to be in America so bad. Guys, it's not real. For the people who still want to do it, it's fake. It's a trap, guys. I can't leave. But so we're trapped in the studio. Let me stop. Knowing that you're finally going to that place, I still remember walking through the airport and reading all the signs. And back then, when you walk up the stairs to the airplane, there you actually had to walk down the runway to the plane. It's not a runway; it's the tarmac, right? And you get to look back at the balcony where your family's standing, and it's like hundreds of people. A lot of people are going to America for the first time, and this is a huge deal. So your whole family is there to see you off, right? So you're going up the steps and you look back and you don't know where your family is. So everybody just waves. That's what you do. You walk up the step, you look back at the crowd and you wave, and then you'll see a bunch of hands go up and you're like, all right, that's where my family is at. And I'm never gonna forget that day. But it was really beautiful having that experience. But now I'm here, guys. And I just wanna come back.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back home.
Would you rather have the perfect parents or the perfect partner? The perfect partner.
Oh my goodness, that's hard. Sorry.
The perfect partner. And that's deep for me because you can have the perfect parent, But how long are they going to be alive? Things like that, I think that might sound dark, but I was born with one mom. My dad passed before I was here. So he could have been perfect. Then what happened? Like, still, I guess I'm thinking, that's the overthinking.
No,
but I'm
I
thinking
think
perfect
that's
partner is
valid.
me building. That perfect partner will be building me as well. So a parent can do that, partner can do that. But the unison between a partner is different between the relationship with a parent. And the longevity, I feel, when I heard partner, it just sounded like present tense. When I heard parent, like would is like, okay, they were perfect. They raised me and now what's happening to me.
Pass the baton.
Right. But I'm like, no, I want that current evolving with that person at the same, I would hope, the leveled experience as far as age or like, depending on how I chose my partner, I would feel like we're going to have that commonality where if you're perfect and you're my partner, we're doing this together. As far as a perfect parent, now they're going to sit here and how are they going to discipline me? Is the discipline perfect as well? Is the upbringing perfect as well? And I feel like my belief of what perfection is, what if that we don't align of what perfect means? It could be perfect to them, but not perfect for me. So I feel like my partner, the reason I chose that person would be the reason why the perfection would be in unison. But a parent is like, their perfection, they could want you to be a lawyer and that's a perfect life. What if I don't want to do that? So now that's going to be stressful for me. But my partner would see why they loved me in that moment, where my growth is at that time, and then we evolve together.
I would choose the same.
Yeah.
I would keep the phone app, the browser app, and and the one where you hide things.
I'm like, that's a little devious.
Yeah, because you have things to hide. It's none of your damn business.
I like that.
None of your business.
If you could know the answer to any question, what would it be? Is that accurate? I feel like I created my answer, but if there was a specific direction to say what is my purpose here on earth, I would love to know specific what gifts, what it is, because sometimes we didn't even tap into what it is yet. And imagine all this time we're doing this, the amount of things that I went through to get to where I am. It's like, and this could just be the beginning.
Yeah.
Who knows? So I would just, but yeah, I would, but I still enjoy the experience. But I still feel like it would be interesting to know what is the direct purpose.
Wow.
To just serve. I'm a server. That's me.
You getting the hard questions.
That was a good question.
All right, so we have one more.
The hot seat.
This is the fun one. This is the happy habit.
Okay.
So, what is a habit that you practice daily or periodically that brings you joy?
This might sound weird.
It won't.
Okay, so I brush my teeth, right? And then I do
It
a
does
big.
sound weird.
See, it starts already.
I'm just playing. Go ahead.
I brush my teeth and I'm like, and then I laugh at myself sometimes, but it's just a habit. I feel like it, even if I'm having a bad morning, like if you just wake up and it's just, what I gotta do today, it just shakes me up. It just makes me feel better.
You know what? For the people who don't know, when you force a smile or you fake smile, it fools your brain into thinking you're happy, even when you're experiencing something uncomfortable. So when you do that, your brain actually
is really tricking,
guys.
It's true.
It really tricks your brain because as powerful as your brain is, you can control it.
Yes.
There's so much that you can do to like little hacks. So even that is a thing.
It sounded weird. I'm like,
No.
what do I do? And I laugh at myself
weird.
too. So
it's
like...
weird, but it works. No, I love it. I love that. But that's something that I used to do with my son when I would I'm lying. I still do it with him. I'll be like, no, do a better smile than that.
You see?
And just kind of messing with him, and then eventually that joy starts to pour out.
Right. Start your day off. You brush your teeth every morning. You won't forget. So I think
I
that's...
love that.
I'm trying to think, what is it that I do all the time? But there's other little things that I do, but I feel like that's just one of the silly
Faking a
signs.
smile is very effective. But you have to be somebody who brushes your teeth every day. You have to be.
You have to.
So, what is your social media handle and what is your website?
Social media handle, Play.Wit.Rox, Play.Wit.Rox. That is me. Yes.
And then that leads to everything else.
Yes.
All right. I love it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Nola.
I enjoyed this conversation.
I enjoy this.
Thank you. Gratitude. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Nola Experience podcast. Created and hosted by Nola. Produced by Take Action Media. Theme song by Mr. Melee. Sponsored by The Hills Restaurant, Brooklyn, New York. Listen to us on all podcast platforms and follow us on social media at the Nola Experience Podcast. Visit the thenolaroexperiencepodcast.com and connect with us via email at talkwithnola@gmail.com.